we didn't come here to talk about our school, but we came here to talk about our travel to Africa, which we did during our first year. And, yeah, just to explain a bit more, like why we are actually traveling to Africa during our education. So first of all, we are studying to become teachers, and as a teachers, we believe that it's important to understand the global reality of the world, and the best way how can you learn about it is actually to travel and experience yourself, to talk with the people and see the situations they are living in, and yeah, try to collect all this information by yourself and see the difference between what you usually hear in the media or what the people says, but like to see the real picture and make something what we want to bring back home and then have this thing to share with the people in here. So that's the basic idea why we were actually traveling. And yeah, we were traveling to Africa by bus. And why we were traveling by bus? It's also like the easiest way how to do it actually, because if we have a bus, then we can travel to all the places we want, because if we would just take a plane and then we would be walking, or, I mean, we cannot get almost anywhere, but with the bus we can just choose our route, and we went from Denmark and then we went down and we can choose where we go, so yeah, that's why we travel with bus. And also very important is that because we started our travel in Denmark and we were going down, and with this we can gradually see the poverty, like how it's changing the landscape. So if we started, let's say in Denmark, and then we are continued, there is suddenly a change already in Spain, and then you take a ferry and then you come to Morocco, and then again it's like a different world, and then you are continuing more south, and yeah, then you appear like in the Black Africa and everything is completely different, so you can also feel how it's going, like just out of your window, so it's very interesting to go actually by bus. And the countries we were traveling to was Morocco, Mauritania, Senegal, Gambia and Guinea-Bissau. And yeah, just to explain a bit why did we choose these countries. I mean, first of all, because it's the easiest to get there by bus from Denmark, because then we can just take a ferry through Spain and continue more down. And also because in Guinea-Bissau there is one of our brother schools, so we plan to spend some time with the people in there because they are studying very similar program as we do. And also, yeah, basically, that's it. And then there are some pictures of our preparation when we were preparing for the travel. So first of all, what we had to do, we had to buy a bus. And we decided to buy this bus in Lithuania actually, because it was a bit cheaper than to buy it in Denmark. And then what we had to do, we had to make this bus to be our classroom and our home at the same time. So what we did, we took out all the seats, we built a kitchen inside, then we made beds, we put some solar panel on the roof. Yeah, that's how it looked at the end. So yeah, you can see we managed to make like a small bed for everyone. We managed to make a small kitchen and some place to study also. So, yeah. And here you can see our route already, how we were traveling. So we started in Denmark and then we continued all the way to Guinea-Bissau. In total we managed to make 17,000 kilometers with the way back as well.
So that you can understand a bit how it was, I would like to invite 4 people from you on stage.
Volunteers?
Yes. 4 volunteers. Yes, you can. Thank you. Yes, one more. Yes. So there will be 2 people who will be the villagers, let's say. Come here.
The rest are werewolves.
And other 2, they will have to make yourself understand, but you cannot use English. Or, I mean, you can talk in your own language if they don't understand. But I will tell you now what they have to understand, okay? No, it's the same, but I'm afraid to say it loud. No, he is your friend.
We must speak the same
and then,
language.
yes.
Once again? Okay.
Go for it.
We try to understand that.
can speak, but you cannot speak the same language. It's just the...
How can we speak any other language? We have English.
Speak your own languages, try to explain it.
What would you do? Like, you would be, imagine you're in the middle of Western Sahara and
You speak English, no? Just
Okay,
in
I
case
also-
somebody
I
knows.
also-
But doesn't understand,
Yeah.
so you cannot in this case.
Danish?
No.
Autobus. Autobus.
Okay, I can.
Bus.
Hej, ano, presne. My. A potom. No, čo? Nie. Ty. Pomôcť nám. Hej, super.
Yeah, I would like to talk a bit about slavery, but before that also about ethnical groups. So in Mauritania there are many different ethnical groups and they have a lot of conflicts in between them. So there are the Moors, which are divided into two groups, white Moors and black Moors, and then there are black Africans. And the white Moors, those are the privileged people. And they have the power in politics, in education, in religion, basically everywhere in the country which is like in this high level. And the white Moors were enslaving the black Moors and also the black Africans. And yeah, black Africans, there are also many ethnical groups. So it's very diverse. And that's why it also has a lot of conflicts. And then each ethnical group also has tribes and castes and classes. And it's very, very complicated. And because of that, there's a lot of racism, discrimination, and also slavery. And me and my friend were investigating ethnical groups and slavery in Mauritania. And yeah, we met a lot of people who, in the beginning, when we interviewed them, they said that there's like they didn't want to talk about slavery because it's a very sensitive topic. They didn't want to talk about ethnical issues because it's also very sensitive. But in the beginning, they didn't say that things like that exist. But as we got to know them more and as we got to connect with them, they started to share things more honestly. Yeah, so basically what we got to know from these people is that everything might seem very fine from outside, but actually people kind of hate each other. The black Africans, they said that Moors are trying to take over everything, that the Moors, they think that black Africans don't deserve education or good life. And for example, on the streets, you could even see there was a big division between the rich people and poor people. Like you could see a fancy white car and a white Moor sitting in there, and then next to it, a donkey with a black African riding it, completely, I don't know, hungry, and his clothes are just, and these two people next to each other, and you can just see it on the street that there's like this big division. Yes, and then there's a lot about, I want to talk about these castes. Like, we were talking with this one girl, she was 20 years old, so kind of my age, and it was so interesting to talk with her. And then I asked her, would you marry a person from, if you fall in love, would you marry a person from another caste? And she was like, no way, like it would be such a big shame for me, it would be a big shame for my family. And in Mauritania, family connection is very, very important. And if you marry a person from another tribe or caste, then the family can just kick you out of the family, like the connection just is gone. And then there was this one man who fell in love with the girl who was from a lower caste, and he got married. And then the family said, okay, we take away everything from you, all your credit cards, because he was rich, he was from the highest class, and they took away everything from him, cars, the house, the credit card, everything. And then he was just on his own with this woman. And then the family said, okay, we don't call you anymore our son. And then, yeah, after a few years, when the woman, she got pregnant and they got the baby, only then the family realized, okay, they're not going to get divorced, so let's accept them. So only then the relationship was better. And about slavery, it was the last country in the world which actually abolished slavery in 1981 or 80, I'm not sure. But still, just in 2007, it was taken as a crime if someone does it. And also this topic, it was extremely hard to investigate it because people just didn't want to talk about it. It's like a public secret, but everybody knows that it still exists there. And me and my friend, we were invited to a house of a girl. She was from the white Moor ethnic group, and she was also from the highest class. And she invited us to her house, and we went there, and then there were these black Africans kind of serving her. And there was this one girl, one boy, and the boy looked like 13, 14, and then we asked, like, how old is he? And she was like, he's 18, we're paying them. And we don't know if those were slaves or not, but it was like very, crazy. And a lot of slaves, they don't know that they are slaves because they are kind of enslaved from generation to generation, and a lot of people are just born as slaves and they don't even know who they are. And like being slave doesn't mean being chained and beaten up, even though that's also happening. By reading from articles, I don't know much because it was very hard to investigate it. But like it's also emotionally and economically, because what would these people do? They're black Africans, they don't have any they don't have many possibilities. And yeah, they are kind of attached to this family who is enslaving them, and they have this relationship, and it's very, very complicated. There's a question.
Yeah, I wanted to ask something about the ethnic groups. Which ethnic group is the majority in Mauritania?
The majority?
Is it African?
No, there's 70% are Moors, and then like 40 are black Moors, 30 are white Moors. So 30% is this privileged, and then the rest, which is 30%, are black Africans, which are divided in many different ethnic groups. And the government is like, most of the government is from the white Moors and everywhere. And so these black Africans, they don't have many opportunities. It's very hard for them to get educated because they need connection. Also to get a job is extremely hard because you need connections. Like it doesn't matter if you're educated or not, you need connections.
Yes. And this is something that happened when we were in Mauritania. Actually, it was in the way back. We were after the border with Senegal, Mauritania. We were driving up, and then we had checkpoint. It was going to get dark, and as I said before, we don't drive when it's dark. So we asked in the checkpoint if we could stop in the next checkpoint and sleep there to be safe. And the guy said, yeah, sure, just do that. So we kept driving, and then the bus said, haha, no more. So it broke down, and we had to stop in the side, as you can see there. And after a while, we were like, okay, what do we do? Trying to think. Then some people approached us, and we told them, like, yeah, the car is not broken, the bus is not working. They helped us, and then after a while, the police appeared, and they were like, yeah, because we called the next checkpoint, and you were not there, so we were worried. We came to check, are you all okay, all fine? Yes, all fine. So they helped us, they called mechanics, and they put the checkpoint there to control that we are fine. And it was very nice. We were there like for 2 nights. This is the village, so they were all sleeping in tents, and there was a well. And we learned to take water from the well, more or less. It's not as easy as I thought it was. And then you can also see the girls, and the boys also, but the girls I think a lot, they thought we were very funny. So they just like the first day they looked at us from the distance, then they got a bit closer, and then they started like coming around us, and you see they have their smartphones to take selfies and pictures of us. And yeah, then we went to take water from the well, and we filled up our bottles. It was also very nice because there was this one guy who was a bit richer. We don't know exactly why, but he had more money and he had the car, and he was like, "Do you need anything?" And normally we don't drink water from the wells, because it might have bacteria that we cannot deal with. So we always drink from bottles, and we asked, and we asked like for 5-liter bottle, that would be fine, and he came back with a 25 liters bottle, super big, and we're like, whoa, thank you. It was just awesome, yeah, hospitality as always. It was a very nice experience.
So somewhere here we are like in the middle of the presentation, and we were thinking maybe it's good to take a small break because it's like a lot of information and it's getting a bit long maybe. So let's say maybe we meet again here in like 15 minutes.
But we had this beautiful evening that you will see a little bit about, and they prepared like some dances and games to show us, and yeah, we can see the video. It was very fun.
And also during the time lapse, if you have any question or anything you want to ask about the presentation or Africa, like you can just ask us anything.
Because after we had all the good period, we had a lot of thoughts. If it was actually good, and if it was like the right way to help, if we actually helped, or we had this. Because at least for me, I had during the whole travel this impression like that we are the white kids going there, and yes, and I didn't like this feeling at all, like to be the rich one who can, eat whatever, do whatever, afford whatever, and what. It's not like we had a lot of money, yeah, but still, you know that the conditions are different, and it's in my mind. And then we really wanted to help, and it was a genuine gesture, I would say, or yeah. But then it brought a lot of thoughts afterwards when we did it. Like, did it actually help that we painted 4 classrooms in different schools? Would it have been better to paint the whole school? Also, what image does it give to them that we just go like heroes and go there and say, hey, I'm gonna paint your class because I have time and money and I can do it? And what kind of relation does it create? It's not that it's bad, but I think it's good to think about it. And yeah, maybe we should just ask like, hey, we are here, we have an amount of money, what do you need? Instead of like, oh, we think your classrooms are not colorful enough, so we're gonna paint them. And yeah, I think we learned a lot. I hope we helped a bit, but yeah, I think it's a good reflection.
Also,